Okay, hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're just doing a Nami deck thing, not a deck, but basically just explaining what I think about some of these cards. And we're just going to start by doing the easy ones, and I'm not going to explain some of them. I'm going to explain the ones that I know the most about, and then some of them I'm going to put in easy to win as Nami, just because I know that they are, but I'll explain the ones off that aren't just like off meta and they just wouldn't make sense to win. So just for a second, I'm gonna be throwing those in. I'm just going one by one on I think the ones I can't really win. Um, so and then obviously I just won't throw Nami in yet. I was about to say I'll just throw Nami down there, but actually, I will. I'll just put it down here, just because she's in here. Yeah, I got those ones. I think, yeah, that's another non-meta one. And even some of the non-meta ones still can beat me. So, I mean, that is one thing to think about, is like, some decks that aren't even meta can still beat Nami. Just because if you hit the wrong stuff at the right time, and that's not what I'm counting off of. I'm counting off of like my actual knowledge with Nami and thinking about how the deck lists work and how they did work, and thinking about the new cards for Nami. So just thinking about stuff like that makes it a little easier. And there will be a couple that I just straight up won't answer because I just because. So I think no, he's another one. We're gonna throw him down here. Sorry guys, I'm almost done. I'm just getting all the easy ones out, just to make it a little easier to explain later. I think there's two. Yeah, there's two of the same one. All right, we're not talking about that one. That one's actually pretty good. I'll explain that one, but that one is definitely low. Boom, boom. Okay, these are all the ones, and I won't be explaining each one. Most of these are off meta, and these ones I don't know a lot about, so I'm just gonna take them out. So I don't know much about Boa, so most likely can beat Nami, but I don't know. And then Zephyr I have no clue about. Those are the ones that I have no clue about. Now, oh, and then this guy, I think I can't remember his name. But I think everything else here I'm going to explain off and explain why it's good or bad. Well, no, not that one. Explain why it's good or bad. Just because. Just to help some of you guys out in your games. Okay. So, oh, another irritate, yeah. Okay, so a lot of meta decks just can't beat this deck. That's one thing to just start by talking about. Like, sometimes you just straight up can't win. Just because you don't pull right, but normally with Nami you at least have a chance. It's sometimes really low, but especially if you start off by accidentally doing the wrong card out of your hand, because one card can lose or win you the game. So we're gonna start with Law. Law is a really weird one. I've beat a lot of Laws. I've lost to a lot of Laws, but I definitely put myself at a higher tier of Nami. Still not like full knowledge, but I know all the Nami cards. I know all the meta and all that, so I do know a lot of that. But with Law, I'm definitely going to put it, if you're newer, I definitely put it, for me, it's more like here range. 'Cause all we're going to do is easy to hardest. But it's definitely easier. It's definitely around here, down here for me, but probably for a newish player or new player, for a new player, it's definitely up here. So I'm gonna put it right here, just because I'm probably not the average Nami player. And then we're gonna go over to Luffy. We're just gonna go one by one. So I think Luffy here, and I'm trying not to be biased, I think he can win because of his deck list just being kind of like Zoro, and Zoro's not that good against this deck, but it's not amazing, but it's not terrible. So I think Luffy's definitely down. down here, I definitely wouldn't say he loses, cause I play a lot of Luffy, that red Luffy specifically, so I do know most of that stuff. That's why I put it there. Now Ace has double attack and put himself up really high, and then he can't use banish, but still can kill me very easily by doing certain tactics. And he doesn't really have to nuke my board, so his hand's even different. I'm definitely gonna put him. I'm definitely gonna put him between, just because. And then Magellan ramps a lot, or doesn't ramp. Well, he ramps, but he tries to de-ramp other people. Nami doesn't really need Dawn. It's nice to have Dawn, but you don't need Dawn. So I think I'm definitely gonna put him down here with Luffy, just because I don't think he's amazing, and he's definitely not a meta pick. That's a really big reason. Now Croc, I'm talking about new Croc, EBO1 Croc, because it will be coming out right before EBO1, and it's definitely high up there. But just because it's Nami that we're talking about, I think Croc is like down here. Even in EBO1, I don't think it's amazing. Just because, yeah, you have blocks. That's a really big thing that I do think it makes it a little easier. But if you're not playing Zeph in your deck, they don't have to care about it, and you're really not caring about anything on their side. And if they don't have any nuke potential, then you don't really have a problem. That's why I think Croc's so good in next set, is because you're not blocking, you're just trying to survive, and the opponent tries to play that against you. And with Zeph, it's kind of easy. But I'm gonna go. Ooh, that's a really interesting one. Okay, so we have Gecko. I don't like Gecko. I don't think it's amazing, but a lot of people like Gecko, and there's definitely been proven that he's a good deck. I just personally haven't really played it much. But I'm definitely gonna put him up here. It's a hard one to go against, just because with Nami, he can play stuff like Borsalino. Yeah, you can put it back into their hand, but if you don't have it, well, you should be able to find it if you don't. If you don't have Buggy, or you haven't been drawing, or you don't even think about needing it, is big things. So I think it's definitely around Law. So I'm gonna put it where Law is. Now we have Crocodile. So this is the... No. He's definitely going down here. He's not. Actually, God, he's pretty good. Against Nami with Zeph, it's harder. With, so there's Gion. Gion, whenever you... whenever opponents... No, on your turn, opponent plays an event... they have to trash one card once per turn, so they can't play it multiple times. But if they have two Gions, then I trash two cards. It gets pretty toxic, but your draw actually goes off before Gion's ability goes off, so that's really nice. But I think Croc's definitely up here with Nami. It's definitely up there, because you have putting Gion 7 blades. So if you're playing Croc or Zeph, then you can nuke 2 Zephs and 7 Dawn, even though it's not amazing turn for the opponent. It's pretty nice because of just what's happening. Now Prona, I think Prona's definitely somewhere, but she can tap my Kayas, but I'm just gonna be more protective of them, so I'd throw them back into my hand with something. And she's just barely good enough to be able to do stuff. Now Sabo, I think Sabo's pretty up there with Nami. I'm probably going to put it here, because as you can kind of see, it's like almost like meta, just with like the tier list, because Nami has her own type of tier list because of her having her own playstyle. Sabo's definitely here, just because he can block and then just be fine, and I'll have to take the blocker down. And that's really scary for Nami. He just trashes like one card, I think. Or I don't even think he has to trash a card. Maybe he has to trash a card, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He at least has to have a Dawn under him. And then we have another blue deck, and you'll notice blue decks are pretty scary. Now this really does matter on what they're playing. So if they're playing Gion's Puddings and 7 blades, or 7 gravity blades, then this deck is really scary. But if they're not, it's not that scary. So I'm definitely gonna put it down here just because it is what their deck is playing. And then we have Dofi. Dofi's blue, so he's scary already. But the really scary thing is that he gets put out an extra character each turn, and I think that puts him right where Law, Gecko, and where Dofi is. And I don't think I explained Law all the way. So he minus his 3 Dawn, what most of you guys should know if you guys actually play. But minus 3 Dawn, KO one of your opponent's characters, bottom deck, one of your opponent's one of your opponent's characters. So my Kai's can get bottom decked. My one draw buggy search, he can bottom deck. He can bottom deck my Zeph, or not cost power. So he can bottom deck pretty much anything. So it is pretty scary. But sometimes it's not the end of the world. And then we have Lucci. Lucci, I think, is really good. I think it's who's playing it, but it's definitely down here just because you don't see it a lot, and when you see it, it's not that scary. Now, Edward Newgate. I think Edward Newgate's nice and strong. But I definitely think... I'm thinking, is it easier for Nami to win, or is it easier for Edward Newgate to win? It's definitely easier for Edward Newgate to win. But Nami, definitely down here for if you're good with Nami, you should be able to win most of the time. So it is really the play style and what you play in your deck and stuff. Now Kid, I think Kid is definitely not terrible. I think its finishing of game can definitely lose you the game, and also just being able to swing twice. To put 2 Dawn under treasure card, I think is really strong. And then we have Anel. I think Anel is definitely bad. Anel is pretty bad actually. Anel and Katakuri are one of the 2 worst decks I think for to play against Nami, just because they're so bad. Because you're trying to get to 10 Dawn, and I'm already halfway through my game. Or I'm probably 75% way through my game before you hit 10 Dawn. I'm trying to end the game before it's turn 7 or 8. I should be able to get the game done by turn 9 to 8. So, yeah, so in 5 turns you're at 10 Dawn, or you're at 9 Dawn. And it's all off playstyle and decks and stuff, obviously. But I've never had a problem with Katakuri, and I've definitely never had a problem with an L. I had one problem with an L before, and it was the person just not swinging. And then then this was me very, very early on not thinking about it. But swinging as Nami. Don't swing as Nami, especially into an L and just handing them extra card each turn. Because when they get down to 0 each turn, they can add one, trash one card, add 1 card to the top of their life. So it's like a free extra life. Now Zoro, I think Zoro's right next to Edward Newgate, just because if you're good with Nami, you should be able to counter it. But if you're not very, very good with it, yeah, it hurts. Now we have Law. I'm actually gonna put him up 1, and I think I'm actually gonna put Gecko up 1. But Law is the hardest thing to beat, for sure. For sure, hardest to beat. I'm definitely gonna put Luffy. Oh, I guess I can explain it. So, Law, when he has a full board of any cost, you can put a 5 cost out for the opposite color and replace something with something else. So you basically just have a giant hand of 1/1s, and then you have like 5s, and then some Zoros, and so you basically just put down blockers and put down more characters. But you're putting down so many characters that you just kind of nuke me, and like you could genuinely probably kill me before turn 4, before nobody's at 10 Dawn, like pretty easily. And then we have Luffy. I think Luffy's not amazing. I've seen Luffy be played really well. Definitely gonna put it down here though, because just because of Katakuri, I definitely don't think it's as easy to win against as Katakuri. So we're gonna put Luffy. I think Luffy's a really interesting one. Just being a 6k leader does change a lot in the game, and it's if they know what to do. So as a Nami player, I know what beats me. It's putting 2 Dawn on, so you're at 7k as a leader, swinging in. Because that really hurts, because I can't pay 1 to get 2k counter because if they swing with 6, it doesn't change anything between 6 and 5 because I'm putting 2k in, unless I'm gonna pay or counter with a 1k counter. I think Luffy's really good against Nami, so I think if you just make sure to throw 7s or 9s or 11s or 12s at Nami, you pretty much can put some pressure down. Rosinante, if they can get a board, it's really scary. If they can't get a board, you're fine. Nothing's really honestly gonna happen. So we got Rosinante. Definitely gonna put him in the middle, just because lower middle, just because that. And then Purple Luffy, I've seen both sides of the gameplay. Because I've played Purple Luffy. He's really good at rushing down and getting more Dawn than you and getting big things out to rush at you. So if they can hit Kaidos, if they can hit 10 cost Purple Luffy, even though it's not amazing, if they have it in there, it gets pretty scary. So I'm definitely going to put it there. Yeah, I think it's pretty high up there. And then Sakazuki. Sakazuki is, I think, one of the worst decks for someone to play against Nami. Actually, I think it's so easy to play against as Nami. Just because I know buddies that like go to big tournament, like big, they go to Nats and stuff, and they played Sakazuki for like ever now. Even though it's a new-ish leader, they've been playing it pretty much since it came out. Or they have been playing it since it came out and mastering it. And I'm not even the best Nami player, and I beat them. So, yeah. And then we have Kid. I think Kid's worth talking about. I don't think he's amazing, but he's definitely harder to beat than Sakazuki. Well, yeah, he's definitely harder to beat because if he can get to the end game, I felt some scary pressure against Kid. I've felt some scary pressure because I think the Kid deck is really good. I think people just didn't give it enough of a chance. Now Vegapunk, he could spit out a 5-cost Vegapunk name, or if he could just hit 10. It's yellow though; it's not blue at all. That's why I don't think it's amazing. I'm actually going to talk about Sakazuki in a second because it will change a lot, and you guys may be upset about my original choice, and I'll explain why. But I think Vegapunk is pretty... I don't think it's amazing. I don't think... that's what my main deck in 07's most likely going to be, guys. That's why I'm trying to be so equal about it. I think if it was in the right hands, I think it could be extra scary against Nami. But right now, I think it's a solid deck, at least. Now, Purple Kaido, I think it's definitely low. I don't think it's very scary. Just because it doesn't ramp up fast enough to be scary, but if it could get to 10 very fast, and because it takes 1 life when you're at 10 Dawn, minus I think... Oh, maybe it's not 10. I think it's like minus 7 Dawn. And then take one of your opponent or trash one of your opponent's life, or just they take it to hand, something like that. But either way, it's pretty good. I think it's better than it's harder to play against the Katakuri, and that may just be because Katakuri I've had so much practice against at this point. But I do know people that play Katakuri don't like Nami because it's definitely easier for Nami. Now Lucci, I've played against this and I know what it does. It's definitely higher up there, and it's a deck that's not even out yet, and I played against it. It's 07 or I think it's 07. It may be 08. I think it's 07. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 07. Now I think this is one of the easiest decks to win as Nami, except obviously the bottom, and it is. I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember her name. I remember her effect. And that's the only reason I think it's really good. So basically, she can rest something if I swing. So I obviously just don't swing against her, and I can win. Jewelry Bonnie. I think she's a really easy one to beat. She's super meta in next set, and I think that's why Nami's going to be so good, is because you're not swinging, and she could just tap anything on your board when you swing. You pay 1. Jewelry Bonnie pays 1, and then taps something on your side, so... Yamato, I think Yamato's easier to win. Actually, I think it's so easy to win against. I'm definitely going to throw it down here. Just because it's so easy to beat. It doesn't look right, almost. But I mean, it is. It honestly is. That's the crazy part. Um, I think I think she actually really does suck to play against, but she's just not good enough. So if you could just win your first couple games in tournaments, then you're never gonna see her. Dressrosa, Rebecca, you'll just never see her realistically, unless that person's really good with her. Then you gotta worry. Now Shanks should have already been down here. I'm sorry, guys. And then we have Sanji's sister. I think is technically, I can't remember her name. Sorry guys if I just ruined that for you guys. I didn't even think about that. But I don't watch the anime. I've never watched it. So now we have purple, blue, Sanji's sister, because I already said it. I'm not taking it back. She really hurts to play against because she has so much rush, and if the person knows what they're doing, you lose. And that's the rest of our list that we have here. I know there's some cards I didn't put in here. Like there is a... Oh yeah, Sakazuki. I forgot to talk to you guys about that. We'll talk about Sakazuki, and then we'll talk about the Three Brothers decks, because I obviously didn't put that in here. But Sakazuki, I'm going to put him higher, because I do think he is genuinely hard to beat. Or he's not hard to beat, but if they have Gion and they play Gion, you lose the game. But Sakazuki can't really play Gion because it's a really weird filling. So I'm definitely going to put it up here. And I'm just going to go through each one and make sure these are all correct before I tell you guys to have a good day. I think Perona. Yeah, I think Perona's in a pretty well spot. The 3 leaders decks, though, while I'm looking at this, the 3 leaders decks, they are very easy and hard to play against, because if they play Ace and they play it well, and they know what they're doing against Nami, it can hurt, because they're swinging 7s all game, and that really does hurt. 7s and 9s against Nami hurts really badly. Swinging one big swing isn't always the smartest. Swinging a lot of 7s at me hurts a lot more. But yeah. So, I think this is pretty nice. Please tell me if you guys think something's not right here. I think the only thing I could see people genuinely being not happy about would be, I could see Iceberg being one thing that people don't like. I could see Bello, because I did put Bello pretty low. Sakazuki, I put him pretty low for being a pretty meta deck. And putting some of these ones that normally don't win a lot against this deck. I'm actually going to put... You know what? Actually, I think Dofi goes up here. I think Croc and Dofi both go up there. Just because they're so devastating for Nami to play against, because they're blue. And they play like they want to play. So, like, they don't have to build a deck against it that's built to beat Nami. Like, there's no reason. So yeah, I think this is really good. If you guys have anything about it, I'm gonna move my screen because I just realized I'm like in the way of some of this. But I hope you guys don't disagree with any of this. Please tell me if you guys do. But yeah, now I don't see much of a disagreement on stuff. Imperio, there's so many different ways to build it. I'm definitely gonna put it out there because I'm gonna put it here, just because I think it could or could not win. Just off of the deck, because it doesn't really have a normal deck because it doesn't win a lot. But some of these things, like Boa Hancock, I have no clue how she works. I have no clue how she runs, so I'm not going to tell you guys about it. Sephora, I have no clue. And then the guy down here in the red, I don't know much about him except he puts 2 Dawn that's already attached to something else. So yeah. I think the decks, I think Nami's really good, and it's just how you play it. It's like if you play Croc or Zeph, you pretty much have the same experience, but maybe not for everybody. So yeah. I think I'm going to leave it off there because I still have to post this one, and I'm going to post it actually like 20 minutes before you guys see it. So, because it has a timer. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm Wire. Please follow, please subscribe. please comment down here, acting like you guys probably didn't already. But please comment about this. Tell me what you guys think. And I have Nami video up. I'll do this. I have a Nami video up here, right over here, and then I have a Nami video up right here. One should be a croc, one should be a normal one. Both are super interesting. Please go check it out. Please go subscribe. Please follow. Please everything. I'm going to start doing in-person videos because I know you guys really do like those. And I've been talking to some other YouTubers that do One Piece, and we were thinking about doing some stuff for One Piece. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.